president of the United States, just accused a former president of treason and suggested a prosecution of that former president with no evidence. That is the problem.
You can calm down. I don't think
I'm not going to calm down.
I don't think
of business.
Kevin, you're talking to the wrong. You're talking to the wrong folks, Kevin.
He's the one who's talking about all these irrelevant things.
I'm just telling you.
Why don't you
thank goodness.
Go take this message to the Oval Office, Kevin. You have access to the president. Tell Donald Trump to stop talking about these diversions.
Tonight, you're not a fan of Trump at all.
Yeah, but go talk. Please, let's not talk about this. I don't want to talk about your distraction. The problem is, this is what Trump does. He distracts everybody. He's talking about President Obama because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He's talking about the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He releases the Martin Luther King files because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He's doing everything possible except
He agreed with you, and you're violently not letting me.
I'm not doing anything violent.
I've said he shouldn't. He's not guilty.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this segment. I swear, conservatives have to have this mental disorder that I take credit for discovering, racism, Tourette's. I'm still waiting for my medical award for that. They just can't seem to help themselves. Check this out. And Keith Boykin, he is not to be played with. You best believe he's going to check you if you come with some nonsense. Check this out and we'll talk about him.
Now, he baselessly accused former President Obama of treason over the Russia investigation. Then he had this threat.
After what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. The leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? He's guilty. It's not a question. You know, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason.
A spokesperson for Obama said, quote, "These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction," and adds, "Nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes." That was actually not really a thing that was in question. That conclusion, that they did not manipulate any votes, is something we have all known. So what is Donald Trump talking about?
You know, I think it's a bigger 30,000-foot narrative about the Democratic Party. The old guard's equity, their value, Obama, Schumer, Pelosi, I think their equity's down 50, 60% now. I don't think these people are going to matter in the next cycle, and I think Trump's taken a stab at it. It doesn't really matter. This is kind of an irrelevant narrative. I think the Democratic Party is a real, as an investor, I almost want to buy into their stock now. They couldn't be worse. This stock is zero. And you'd almost think if you're going to have some kind of a balance by the midterms, they got to figure, Obama's an irrelevant guy now.
Yeah, but he's accusing a former president of treason.
Right.
And on top of that, saying, it may not be right, but I'm going to go after them anyway. What is he talking about? And what kind of country are we living in if that is actually what he is doing?
Well, first off,
really quick, how is someone not interrupt him? How much is Trump's equity down there, Kev? That's incredible. Hey, Kevin, you are in the party of child abuser excusers. Let's be real. Does it really get any lower than that? How can you still support Republicans after knowing that and seeing how almost all of them, including these pundits, including him, are shielding Trump from it when they lied for years and used it as a weapon? It doesn't get any lower than that. Come on, Papi. He has no arguments, so he just says Obama's stock is low. Someone who hasn't been in office for almost 10 years. Even if I grant you that bet, I'll raise my bet to Trump was best friends and clearly involved with Epstein, you sick F. How does the stock get any lower than that, cabrón?
I thought the key part about President Obama's quote was that the Russians did not actually manipulate any votes.
Yeah, we knew that already.
Oh, wait a minute. In the immediate aftermath of the 2016 election, you could hardly find a Democrat who was not screaming that Russia rigged the election.
It has been 8 years since the immediate aftermath of the 2016 election.
The fact that Obama is now undoing the Democrat mythology of 2016
as you know, there have been multiple
notable.
reports. There have been there's been a major bipartisan Senate report that was led by Marco Rubio, who now works in Donald Trump's administration. We have known for many years that the Russians did not manipulate the votes, okay?
Right.
Not
in fact,
that
they didn't even influence votes. They've had intentions of meddling in the election.
Oh,
Again,
but they didn't
why are we talking about this? This is not the issue. You're trying to avoid the subject.
President Obama said that Russia did not manipulate any votes. We should note that because every liberal in America said that was the case.
All right, noted.
You're doing everything you're possible not to talk about the fact that the President of the United States, the current President of the United States, just accused a former president of treason and suggested a prosecution of that former president with no evidence. That is the problem.
You can calm down. I don't think he's guilty of treason. I don't think he'll be prosecuted.
Why don't you talk about that instead of talking about Obama?
Because Obama just undid 3 years of Democrat mythology.
What?
Please let's not talk about this. I don't want to talk about your distractions. The problem is, this is what Trump does. He distracts everybody. He's talking about President Obama because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He's talking about the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He releases the Martin Luther King files because he doesn't want to talk about Epstein. He's doing everything possible except talking about Jeffrey Epstein because he's trying to throw up distractions so that people like you, Todd, can come on TV and try to diffuse the issue.
I have tried to agree with you, and you're violently not letting me.
I'm not doing anything violent.
I've said he's not guilty of treason. He shouldn't be prosecuted. I've tried to violently...
So, Brad, is this a distraction or not? Because
I think he's entitled to be a little chapped at the way the Department of Justice treats.
All right, I got to stop this. He did this earlier when he told Keith to calm down earlier in the conversation, like a minute ago. And now this violently not letting me. This is just, oh yeah, he's being so aggressive. For Republicans, conservatives, when a black man changes his tone, even a bit, it sets their bones in a uncontrollable tremors from the fear. Actually, I think I just found another medical disorder. Such little snowflakes. Alpha males though, right? You keep telling yourselves that. You just don't like what he's saying. That's all. Because if he was saying this to someone else, but you agreed with the comments, would you be telling him, hey, Keith, calm down? But like I said, they just can't help themselves. What do you call this? This is why I call it racism Tourette's. They can't help it. It's just also a way to try and derail the conversation. And it's good that Keith didn't fall for it. And really quickly, but think about the things that Trump has mentioned recently to distract, which Keith Boykin named them out. He wants the Washington Redskins name back. He wants the Cleveland Indians name back. He released the MLK files when his family didn't want it released. And now he's going after Obama. This is why I like math, because it's easy to see patterns. What's the common denominator here? No, it has nothing to do with racism. We all on this side are just seeing things. We're always just saying everything is about racism. What's the common denominator in all those things? Wants the Redskins names back, Indians name back, releasing the MLK files, going after Obama? Huh?
Treated him and spied on him during the 2016 campaign. I think he's entitled to that. I think he's entitled to be chapped at the way the Democrats said his victory wasn't legitimate for his entire first term.
I think he's
I think he's entitled to be chapped over the fact that Democrats tried to impeach him and tried to undo what was legitimately done by the voters. So yes, President Trump gets a right to pitch a bit of a fit.
He does not get the right to call a former president treason and suggest the prosecution of that former president.
I said that. I'll say it for the third time. I'm going to say for the third time, he should not say he's guilty of treason.
Then let's focus on that issue.
Temi Dayo, your thoughts on this, because this feels like just an attempt to retread, but not even a very good one. Because it's almost like they're mad about sloppy media headlines and not the actual IC conclusion or the Senate intelligence report findings of what actually happened in the 2016 election.
Yeah, Abby, I think what's jarring to me about this claim of treason is what another norm shift we've had, right? Treason has a very specific definition in our Constitution. And in some, it's basically, you're taking arms against the United States. And we've seen that before, and we've seen that recently. We saw that on January 6th. We saw Americans take up arms against their government. We saw Americans try to attack cops, to try to kill sitting members of Congress. We've seen that, right? We've seen something that is more akin to taking up your arms. And what happened with those individuals? They were pardoned. So I think it belies any kind of credibility to use the term treason when we've had certain individuals in this country who have stood by those and given aid and comfort to those who have taken up arms against our country, and that troubles me a lot more than this kind of fake narrative we're seeing here.
I just
They
think it's
excuse
really
everything.
funny how, when it came to releasing the Epstein files, one of the arguments you heard from Trump, who, by the way, what would Trump be if he isn't perpetually chapped? He's always chapped about something. He's got the thinnest skin ever. But anyway, he talked about how, oh, Epstein's old news. Why do you care about Epstein? Okay, yeah, you're right. So why don't we focus on some trumped up nonsense prosecution of Obama on Russia and Russiagate? Like, it's so clearly a distraction. And I just want to quickly mention Tulsi Gabbard, head of the DNI, who, came out and like, oh, this is a bombshell. Look what I found. No new evidence, no new nothing. And she's trying to ingratiate herself with Trump, who had soured on her after she had told the truth about Iran's lack of nuclear weapons.
And it is working because
throw in
Trump
just something that maybe we wanna think about?
Trump a month ago said that Gabbard was off message, and sources told us she was out of favor. Now, today he says she is the hottest one in the room right now after these allegations on the Russia probe.
Just a little reality, please. Just a moment of reality. So, you're an American. You're at home in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois right now, and you are creating 70% of the jobs with your family business, 5 to 500 employee businesses. And here we are debating how many fairies are on the top of this pin. I swear to you, I guarantee you, because I am their advocate, they don't give a you-know-what. And so we can talk about this till the cows come home. This is not on top of mind of the American taking care of business.
Kevin, you're talking to the wrong.
You're
talking to the wrong folks, Kevin.
He's the one who's talking about all these irrelevant things.
I'm just telling
Why don't you?
Thank goodness.
Go take this message to the Oval Office, Kevin. You have access to the president. Tell Donald Trump to stop talking about these diversions.
Tonight, you're not a fan of Trump at all.
Yeah, but go talk to him. You think that we should be talking about more serious issues? So tell Donald Trump to stop talking about the Washington.
It doesn't matter to people.
Tell Donald Trump.
I'm going to agree with Keith
look,
again.
I don't know why you would be yelling at Keith about this. To his point, it is Donald Trump who has brought up Obama. It is Donald Trump who has made the Epstein story a story for over a week now. All right, folks. Temidayo.
And what a cultist thing to say. Oh, you don't like Donald Trump. So what I would just retort back, so you like Trump and his clear involvement with Epstein? Is that what you're saying, Kevin? Like this whole, and I agree with what Anna and Keith were saying. Outside of just adding that this whole thing is clearly a distraction, obviously, but there's another piece to this that I wish more people pointed out. It's always the same marketing tool. It's always racism or bigotry. Think about it. I've mentioned this again. Redskins, Indians, Obama, MLK. What's the common denominator here? Like, this is unbelievable. It's a distraction, but it's a targeted distraction. Why do they do that? Is it because Trump knows the hearts of conservatives? I'd say that so. And actually, Trump did it himself when he said he had to throw in Barack Hussein Obama because he knows it scares Republicans and conservatives so much to hear that kind of name. It's amazing how stupid they must think Republicans are. I mean, they aren't wrong. And again, we know what they're going after Obama. Why Republicans hate him so much. It's that racist red meat. Come get it. Good boy. Good boy. That's a good little boy. Now shut up about Epstein and go play with your ball. You're just giving your pets their favorite treats. That's how basically what I'm seeing here. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. Big props to Keith. He's not to be played with. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Please leave a like, subscribe. It really helps the channel. Really helps push the message out there. And I'll catch you in the next one.